Welcome to the SOB radio show, where we have fun, interesting guests, and hot topics. Each week, we offer insights into music, fashion, health, fitness, and humor. Do you have the perfect guest for us to interview? I want to know. Drop me a line on our Facebook page at Spunky Old Broad 1 or reach out to me on our website at spunkyoldbroad.com. And now, back to the show.
Hi, everybody. This is Gail Carson, and I'm back with Peggy Bell, who is our resident right now coach for women in their mid-50s who are and above, who are going, through either divorce or widowhood and so forth. She says your puzzle of life may get knocked over and the pieces lost forever. Go out and find new pieces. The finished product will look different, but maybe just better than you imagined. Peggy, thanks for being with us. And, you wrote a book called Life After Lost for Widows, Lifting the Veil of Grief. So if women bought and read your book, and that's the key, folks, you don't just buy a book, you got to read it. Would it be beneficial for divorcees as well as widows?
I believe that it would, because when I originally wrote it, it was just for widows. But then when I started working with divorcees, and I realized that a lot of what they went through was what people going through widowhood go through. My book kind of tells my story, but then I talk about all the struggles I had as far as being single, and the first time I had to go to a hardware store and buy something and replace something in the toilet tank. It was like a big deal for me, and so I talk about all these things, the struggles, the finances that I went through, and how I dealt with, and what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And so I think it would benefit people going through a divorce, because they're now living a single life, like it or not,
That's true. Now, I have found, and you may know more about this than I do for sure, that men leap back into dating after being a widower than women do. Do you find that?
Yes, I do. And I've remarried, and I married a widower. We were both married for 30 years and then lost our spouse. And I asked him about that. And I said, it seems like all these men just bounce back so much faster than women. And I said, do you have an idea about why that's so? And he said, I think because growing up, you get hurt, you're told, get up, you're okay, you be tough, And so they've been, I guess, ingrained to just, here's something bad, but get up and go after it. You can't stay down. And I think that's part of it. But I think for a lot of men too, they just don't like being on their own. They don't like doing things that they would have to take on both partners' responsibilities.
I think your second point is more of what happened in the first.
Yeah.
I am a product of the first, even though I'm a woman. That's how I was raised. Get up and figure it out and go do it. So that's how I was raised. So that's maybe why I bounced back the way I did. But I found that, and I don't know if it's just that men want someone to take care of them, but they just want that other partner there, much more so than a woman who says, hey, wait a minute, I've been through this. I know what's involved. I'm not going to be a nursemaid to anybody else. And, I want what I want this time. So I think that maybe, the widow is someone who is much more cautious. And of course, the other thing is, oh my gosh, now, I have to tell you something, Peggy. First of all, I think that a lot of times now that people over 50 are doing this online dating bit, and the pictures that they put online are so different than who they are really in person. So you
Yeah.
really have to be honest, because if you have a high school or college picture and you go have a coffee date with someone, you're probably gonna end up walking out. So I do think that online dating is precarious, but I know it's necessary also. But isn't it interesting now, with people not being able to socialize, that a lot of the meeting and the conversation and so forth is being done over Zoom, and places like that. But this way you can talk to somebody and meet somebody and find out about them without having to go through the trauma of meeting in person.
Yeah, the safety factor too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, what have you found, or is there not a statistic? What have you found is the average length of time that a woman stays a widow?
I don't know that there's an average time. I I don't know. Just from the women that I work with, it's been most of them will stay. It's not going to be the first year. Men sometimes it's 3-4 months and they're already married. But I haven't found that with women. I think for a lot of them too, some of them are still raising children, or some of them have family back at home with them. And so they have other things to take care of. Some of them are even now they're in their career, and so they're busy with that. But I know that it takes a lot longer for women on an average than men to get into relationships.
You just brought up another point, and that is many of them still have children at home or family. How much does the family influence the woman compared to a man?
I think it influences a lot, because women just have that nurturing part about them. And so they want to make sure that their family's okay with what they're doing. They want to make sure their children are taken care of. And for some of them, in midlife, they're getting these children to move back in with them. So if their children have gone through divorce, or they're needing a place to stay, so they come back with mom, I'm finding that quite often too. So that's something that women have to deal with also, that sometimes the men don't.
Yeah, there's just so many, oh gosh, all these elements. How long have you been doing this coaching, Peggy?
Working with widows, it's been about 2 years. And then I just kind of added the women of divorce in the last about a year.
So you can't tell if there's any changes that have been going on as compared to 5 or 10 years ago, really.
Right.
But is there something that all of these women have in common?
Just this, like we talked about, the concerns that they have when they do go through it. Just the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that they just don't know what role they have in life anymore. That, and also the financial part is just such a big thing, and especially now with COVID, and some of them are losing their jobs. Their finances are gone because of their husband's part, and then now they're losing their own jobs because of COVID. So some of them are really struggling out there.
So maybe some of the things that you need to offer, or at least partner with people, would be on creativity, thinking outside the box. Because I keep saying on every show, there is no new normal. There's just new. And
Right.
We're never going back to where we were. So whatever they did in the past isn't going to be there for them anymore. So what can they do in the future? And What skills can they develop? Where can they go to get retrained or that kind of thing? And maybe there needs to be some financial courses for them so they can learn, okay, what do we do? I have always admired, Peggy, these are not the people you work with, but I have always admired these people with no education who are left as single moms who work 2, 3 jobs just to support their families. And guess what? They don't complain. And the kids get raised, and everybody seems to be doing okay. It seems like they just know this is what they have to do to survive and raise their kids. I mean, there's no question of feeling sorry for themselves or feeling lost. They just say, this is what I have to do. If I have to work 3 maids' jobs and scrub floors, I will do that because that's what I have to do. And I do know people like that, Peggy, and I admire them. I just admire them because they do what it takes to get through life, and they get through life. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, there's no other option, so why complain about it,
Right, right.
Yeah. And that's the people that have a good mindset,
Yeah, we go back to mindset. And I am all about mindset. I mean, I am a big believer in mindset. I believe mindset has gotten me through a lot of things that I've been through. So mindset is so important. So we're going to add that to the courses.
Yes.
Give them is mindset as well. So that's something too. I want to mention a couple of other things. First of all, you are offering a free book study on your book via Zoom the first 3 Thursdays in November. And so if anybody listening to this loves what Peggy has to say and wants to be a part of this free book study, now which book is this that you're going to be studying?
This is the one on life after loss for widows, lifting the veil of grief. I thought, holidays are coming up. People are, I'm seeing in these groups about just people are really struggling. And I thought, if we can just get a free book study via Zoom and we can just have some support for each other and we can be there for each other if they have questions or is this common for you and why am I feeling this way? Groups on, social media is fine, but if you can kind of be face to face, even though it's virtually, to be there for each other, I think it's a good idea. So the teacher in me, after 40 years, I'm going to have a study guide to go with it, and I'm going to send that out to them. And I just think we can maybe get a little bit of peace, or at least feel like somebody's in your corner with these holidays approaching, especially amid COVID.
Oh, I think that's fantastic and absolutely necessary. I know this will be the first year in 55 years that I have not spent Thanksgiving with my son. And Thanksgiving was my husband's favorite holiday, more than any other holiday. He loved Thanksgiving, and we always hosted dinners of 10, 12, 14, 15 people in our home. And I never cooked, by the way. It was all catered. When my mom lived with us, which she lived with us for 30 years, when she, for the winters, when she, after she lost my dad, and she did do the cooking because she was a fabulous cook. It did not rub off on me. But it's disappointing because that's the one holiday that we always celebrated together. So that's, and then you also have a masterclass summit coming up with Kay Wagner, who I know, and she's going to give, you're going to give a presentation and offer 2 free gifts, the lead magnet, a free event, which begins November 4th. And, that's something else that people might be interested in. So where would they go to get information on that?
If they're interested in being in the summit, they can just email me at peggybellcoaching@gmail.com. I'll make sure you get on the list. It's going to open up November 4th, and I'll make sure you get all the information to sign up. There's going to be over 30 of us doing presentations and offering free informational gifts. My lead magnet is on how to take the steps to move forward. And then the event that I'm having at the end of November is going to be on how to find your inner strength as a single woman. So that's going to be on Zoom also. So I'm looking forward to a great turnout for that.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. And boy, you can't forget that, folks. Can't get any easier than remembering her name. Peggy Bell Coaching at gmail.com. I mean, you can go right there to find out everything you need to know. And then
Absolutely.
you also have another book coming out before Christmas called Midlife, Season to Perfection. Tell us about that.
This book's going to be for anybody in midlife, both genders, and it's not anything about widows or divorcees. It's just for anybody, just giving a message that midlife can truly be the best time of your life. For me, it is. I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm 62. I just feel better in my skin. I don't care what others think anymore, and it's like, I'm ready to go. And I discussed something that I call the Bell method, and it's just kind of something that I put together. It's believe, evolve, love yourself, and live your purpose. So I kind of touch base on that in the book also. And instead of saying we're old, I like to say we're seasoned because we've been around longer. And seasoned to perfection is what you consider perfection in your own life. What's perfect for me may not be perfect for someone else. And so that's how I chose the title that I did. And I'm looking forward to that book coming out because I think a lot of people just need to realize, you live every day till its fullest. You not count, the minutes. Take full pleasure in living each day. I don't take any day for granted anymore. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I agree with you totally. Funnily, you are the same age as my daughter. And so it's really interesting to see that, what you're accomplishing and then how she lives her life. It's so different, but it's, everybody each to his own. That's what we say all the time.
Exactly.
But yeah, well, that's great. So, folks, you have 3 different ways now to find Peggy into your life. You can do her book study on Zoom, which will be, the first 3 Thursdays in November. If you can't make one, you can make another. She's going to be part of a big masterclass summit starting November 4th. And you can find out information about that by going to Peggy Bell Coaching at gmail.com. And then her other book, the new book, will be coming out just before Christmas, which is perfect. So you have that time as well. So you've got quite a few opportunities to work with Peggy. So Peggy, we just have like 4 minutes left in our conversation for today. What is a final thought to leave with our listeners who might be going through grief and loss right now?
I just want them to know that, I understand the pain. The pain at first is heart-wrenching. Know that there's no expiration date on grief. You're always going to grieve for the person that you lost or for the marriage that you lost. But at some point, the days are going to get better and the pain is going to lessen. Over time, things are going to get better. And life may not be like you planned. I talk about that puzzle that, when you put in a puzzle together and you've got that vision of what it's going to look like, and suddenly a gust of wind comes and tosses those pieces, you've got to find the new pieces to that puzzle. And it's going to have a different picture to it. But it can be a whole lot better than you even expected. And I know that firsthand because it happened to me. And opportunities are out there awaiting for you. Some you don't even know you want. You just have to have an open mind, have the right mindset, and go after it. Be kind and be patient with yourself, I think would be my final words.
Wow, those are all good suggestions. Folks, you can go to Peggy's website at peggybell.com. I want to remind you that You can go to my website, Spunky Old Broad. And even though I am the Spunky Old Broad, SOB for you stands for Spunky, Open, and Brave. So you don't have to consider yourself old. I do have a virtual Facebook group for those of you who would like to join it. It's free. It's for women 50 plus. If you go to facebook.com/groups and go to virtual SOB club, you'll find it. And I hope that you'll join me there. I hope that you'll go to my website, spunkyoldbroad.com. You'll see my online courses I have for you. You'll see, I have a wonderful store there with, oh gosh, hoodies and t-shirts and leggings and coffee cups and all kinds of wonderful sayings and so forth. So we have we have that as well. And then it's just nice to be around people who are like you. So if you have the opportunity to go to Peggy's site, if you have the chance to go to my site, if you go to YouTube and you subscribe to Spunky Old Broad, you'll get more of me and more of the people I interview. And it's just nice to be around people who are part of your community. So, Peggy, you are doing a wonderful service for these women. And I want to thank you so much for being with us today, and also for living the life. You're exemplifying exactly what you're teaching them. So it's as genuine. You can't get more genuine than that. That's the one thing that people say, about me, that I really believe everything I'm talking about, the authenticity. And you've got that as well, because you've shown people, hey, this is what I went through. This is what I did. This is what happened. And wow, I'm very happy now. So I just want to thank you, and just want to say thanks for being with us today, everybody. And go see Peggy, go see me. We want you in our lives. And thanks so much, Peggy, for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Gail. It has been a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to be with your guests.
Hi, this is Dr. Gail, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, you'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.